Hi, I have a mic and a pulse, and I have come to restore my honor. How, you may ask, and also, what honor? And also, who are you, and how did you get onto my recommended page? Well, as some of you may know, and others will learn now, I made a hell of a lot of Starfield predictions, and the great majority of them were wrong. Since, turns out that rather than filling their trailers with a cryptic web of clues and symbolism, leading the faithful to enlightenment, Bethesda was actually employing a clever marketing tactic called showing potential customers all of the cool things in your game so they'll buy it. In short, my bad. So, how am I restoring my honor? Well, one of my main predictions was that the research system could be hiding secret categories of upgrade that hadn't been revealed, or would be added in what I thought would be a large amount of DLC before Bethesda revealed that most of their team was sick and tired of making Starfield. Foremost among these were robotics, due to the game's robots being perfect for automatroning, and spaceship research, since the starship engineering skill has the same gear motif as the game's crafting and research skills. And, as it turns out, there were some plans for those, which are still dummied out in the creation kit. So, since I tricked some of you into believing that Starship Research would be in the game, I would like to reclaim some of my honor by adding Spaceship Research to the game in this new mod. So, yeah, here's my little commercial. Okay. Hello, Captains. This is Rockhead Dynamics, and we have a proposition for you. Who are we? Well, about 20 years ago, we were the finest aerospace company on Nera, and I guess we still are, but there ain't much competition nowadays. But we here at Rockhead believe failure is the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth step on the path to success. What's step 6? Well, that's where you come in. Our salvage team has recovered a large chunk of our pre-war design archives, but the blueprints have been damaged, and so have our labs. So if the fine minds at Constellation could help get the designs working again, we can send them to any shipbuilder in the settled systems, exclusively for you. And now, the reason you're here. The goods. First off, our pride and joy, drones. As many a rookie has learned, one of the quickest ways to die in space is to be outnumbered and outflanked. And while turrets can cover your rear, they can't do much to keep enemies occupied or get their guns off of you. That's why we invented our patented drone systems. Just build a batch of drone parts at any industrial workbench, load them into your ship's cargo hold, and you can have the backup you need when and where you need it. To keep things simple, we've got one drone for each basic weapon type, plus the heavily shielded Frogmos in case you need to draw fire. And, because keeping things simple gets boring fast, there's also the Queen drone, which will build unlimited quantities of basic drones for as long as you can keep it running. While our drones are quite effective, we will say that they have one weakness, which is that turrets are better at shooting them down than we would like, so packing some weaponry of your own is still a good investment against bulkier ships. Fortunately, that's not our only weapon system. For a subtle approach, our ion weapons can damage enemy shield systems even when their shields are still up, and the even more experimental ion cannons can shut down an enemy's reactor completely. Or, for the least subtle approach possible, our mass-accelerating coil guns, or MACs, trade the modularity of our rivals' cannons and railguns for raw power, with barrel lengths from 16 to 80 meters for problems of any scale short of an entire UC fleet orbitally bombarding your shipyard. Of course, sometimes the best approach is a quick retreat, which is why we offer mines in both single and cluster variants. The single mines stay where you put them, while the cluster mines move forward in a wonderful cloud of death for maximum coverage, and pair excellently with our line of bidirectional engines, which allow you to move backwards almost as quickly as you can move forwards. Though, if you prefer straight line acceleration, our line of booster tanks can significantly lengthen your boost duration at the cost of durability. Of course, if you'd like to keep your durability, or add a little more, we've got several lines of custom shield generators. Our multi-circuit shield generators come with backup capacitors that significantly reduce the delay before your shield regenerates, with the quad-circuit shield generator continuously regenerating until broken, allowing it to sustain all but the most withering fire indefinitely. Of course, if you are going up against the most withering fire, you may be interested in hardened shields, which are built to take the same amount of damage from any hit, whether the smallest laser or the strongest missile. And if you'd prefer to keep things simple, our tensor fields project a force field through the ship instead of around it, directly reinforcing your ship's hull and systems without providing a separate shield. We also offer deployable energy barriers in the Pavis and Palisade that can stop enemy projectiles in their tracks, giving you a few extra seconds to repair, recharge, reload, or retreat. Of course, you'll need to power all of this, which is why we've carefully studied the properties of Vitinium and other advanced materials in order to build more powerful reactors than our competitors. And if you're willing to trade safety for extreme performance, our antimatter reactors can get you just about as much power as you can use, but have very low durability, as if the containment fields get broken, there's nothing standing between your ship and, well, antimatter. If you'd prefer a slightly different flavor of risk, we also carry overcharged reactors, which use a power transmission system that boosts your energy and EM damage, but causes your shields to take more damage from any source and makes your systems more vulnerable to EM weapons. If you prefer boarding actions to the pilot seat, we can also offer you the wall-hack scanner module, which detects enemies inside of spaceships and stations and transmits their location directly to your HUD. And for planet-side operations, our anti-personnel turrets can be mounted to your ship to target enemies on the ground. And if you haven't landed directly in front of your destination, we've got 3 new vehicles on offer. While any manufacturer worth their salt can make a hovercraft, only Rockhead has the landlubber Unvercraft, which uses pro-gravity fields to stick to the surface of even the lowest gravity worlds instead of floating about like a clown with too many balloons. For exploring lush planets instead of airless rocks, the Safari Special boosts your scan radius and replaces its weapon with an active scanner that can scan wildlife in a large area at once, though seems to struggle with plants. It'll also sync with your HUD to boost your sniping damage while parked nearby. For the direct approach, the Pelorota trades a ranged weapon for maximum ramming damage, packing a powerful electrical field that hits harder the faster you move, and producing a bonus explosion on hard landings. And if you like the sound of those, but don't want to have to go back to a shipyard every time you want to switch them up, then we've got good news. Our garage bays can disassemble and reassemble your vehicles in the field so that you can be prepared for any situation. So, if any or all of that sounds appealing to you, you know where to find us. Okay, back to being me again. So that's it. That's the mod. I think it's super cool. I kind of just kept adding stuff, partially because initially I wanted to make up for my total lack of skill by having a wide variety of things, though at some point I may have stopped totally lacking skills, which is nice. And the more things I did, the more things I could do. And I have some updates planned. I have some things in the pipeline, though I can't give an exact time frame, as you know, I find working with this stuff, things that should take 5 minutes take a week, things that should take a week take 2 hours. I got no idea of the timing. But I do like the modding, so I will make more things. I find it agrees with me, since if you're trying to script a video and you keep going over the same thing over and over again because it's not working, you just end up with 30 drafts. But if you do so in a mod, it works better. So that's nice. Anyway, peace out.